So what's good, guys? It's your boy Noah the Beast back here again on YouTube, and today, guys, I'm going to be giving you guys my its record predictions for all 32 teams in the NFL going into the 2026 season, guys. Guys, it is officially football season. You guys will be seeing a lot more it's football content throughout the fall. But guys, in this video, I'm going to be giving you guys my record predictions for all 32 teams in the NFL. If you guys had not already, man, make sure that you guys smash that subscribe button, turn on that little bell notification, and share this video with somebody that you know. And let me know down in the comments what other videos you guys want to see from your boy Noah the Beast next. But guys, I have a slide presentation here. I made the slide presentation maybe like a couple hours ago with all my, fits predictions. And then afterwards, we are going to predict next year's NFL playoffs, all right? So starting off here, guys, we have my predictions for the NFC East. I have the Eagles coming in at first at 13-4. I have the Cowboys in second at 9-8. Then I have the Giants in third at 7-10, and then I have Washington in last place at 6-11. But this division is pretty mid. I mean, the only real contender in this division is just my Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, when you look at the birds from top to bottom, I still think, at least on paper, the Philadelphia Eagles are still a top 5 team in the NFL. I definitely think if Sean Mannion is a better offensive coordinator than Kevin Patullo was last year, then this Eagles team can definitely go and win another Super Bowl. As for the Cowboys, man, they're mid. They're going to do what they do every single year. They're going to say it's our year, and then they're going to shit the bed, finish with like a 9-8 record, and then they're going to miss the playoffs. Or they're going to have a really good regular season record. They're going to make the playoffs as like a 2 or 3 seed, and then they're going to choke it all away and then lose against like an 8-9 team in the wild card round. So, of course, the Cowboys are the same. They still have a great offense, at least on paper. They got 2 of the best wide receivers in the league in CeeDee Lamb. They have a good regular season quarterback in Dak Prescott. And then, obviously, their defense did get better this offseason, but come on. It's still the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to do the same thing they do every single year. As for the Giants, I think they will be able to take a little bit of a step forward. They did have some injuries last year, but they do have some young pieces that they can build around for the next, that's 4 to 5 years. I think they will have a bright future, certainly. But I'm not sold that the Giants are going to make the playoffs. I still think, Cam Skattebo and Malik Neighbors coming off of their injuries, I don't think they're going to be as dominant as they once were. I mean, they are still great players, but I don't think they're going to be as dominant as they were right before both of them got hurt. But I think Jackson Dart's a solid franchise quarterback. I definitely think he could take a step up this year, but I'm not too high on the Giants. They have a new head coach in John Harbaugh. That should definitely help, but I just don't think this is quite the year that the Giants will truly take a step. And then obviously in last place, I got Washington. This team is obviously is a bit weird. I mean, as long as Jayden Daniels is healthy, I do believe they can be a great team. Sorry guys, I have to turn back on my monitor for some weird reason. The lighting went out. I'm sorry about that, because I'm using my Wii U as lighting right now. But anyway, that's about Washington. I mean, if Jayden Daniels is healthy, this could be a playoff team, but they lost too many pieces this offseason. I think they're an aging team. I'm just not high on Washington this year. So that is why I have them in last place. But those are my predictions for the NFC East. All right. Moving on to the next division here, guys. We have the NFC South. This division's probably one of the worst divisions in football. I know a lot of people say that, oh my gosh, that division's going to be loaded. But I still think it's one of the worst divisions in all of the league. I mean, coming in at first place, I have Carolina once again coming in first place. I definitely think Bryce Young is going to take another leap this year for sure. I mean, it seems like to me Bryce Young gets better every single year. I mean, his his rookie season and his second season were pretty rough, but then like the second half of his second season all the way up to now, he's just keep taking leap after leap after leap. And I can see Bryce Young having a huge leap this season. 100%, bro. This guy is going to have a huge leap this season. You got, your second year wide receiver 1 and Tet coming back, man. That dude's going to take another leap. They did lose one of their best running backs, Enrico Dowdle. He ended up going to the Steelers, but I still think Carolina's the best team in this division. I think as long as Bryce Young can take another step forward, dude, I think Carolina is going to win this division again. As for Tampa Bay, I have them in second place, finishing the same record. I definitely think Tampa Bay, one of the most, I would say, up and down teams in the league. They should have made the playoffs last year, but Carolina did deserve it way more than them. They still have one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the league in Baker Mayfield, who still doesn't get enough love. I mean, Baker Mayfield, at least to me, is when Baker Mayfield's on his game, he's a top 10 quarterback. I mean, Baker, he is a little inconsistent, but man, he's a dog. And they have a lot of young wide receivers, man. I know losing it's Mike Evans is going to cost them, but obviously Mike Evans is 71 years old. So obviously, I don't think that's going to be a huge loss, because it's not like they lost a prime Mike Evans, but they are still a mid team. I think they'll win around 8 or 9 games, somewhere around that range. In here, I have them going 9-8, but I still think they'll finish second in their division once again. And then third place, I have the Saints. A lot of people are giving them hype because of the offseason they had and everything. But I still think the Saints, though, I think they have a bright future, yes, but I just don't think this is the year that they're going to take that huge step forward and, get into the playoffs or anything like that. So I have the Saints at 7-10, finishing third in their division. I like their new quarterback and Tyler Shuck. Great quarterback. I like the addition of Travis Etienne as well. I mean, I think the Saints have a bright future. I think they have a young core that they can build around, obviously, for the next couple years. But I still don't think this is their year quite yet. So that is why I have the Saints in third. Coming in at fourth, this might sound like a hot take, but I have the Falcons in fourth place. I think they have the pieces there. They have one of the best running backs in the league in Bijan Robinson. They have obviously one of the best tight ends in the league in Kyle Pitts. They have a really good... they have one of the best wide receivers in the league in Drake London, at least a top 10 wide receiver in Drake London. But the Falcons, what I'm concerned about is their quarterback play. They have 2 really bad QBs in that room, in Tua and Michael Penix, just because they're so injury prone and just because they're full of CTE. So I just think that quarterback room is really going to hold them back. So that is why I have them in fourth, just because of their quarterback room. Like, if you put Josh Allen on the Falcons, I think the Falcons would be like a 13-win team. If you give Josh Allen like a Bijan Robinson, a Drake London, a Kyle Pitts, I definitely think if you put Josh Allen on the Falcons, I think the Falcons would be a 13-win team. But the only reason why I have them finishing in last and only winning 6 games is just because of their quarterback room. I think one of those quarterbacks is going to get hurt throughout the season, and they're just going to be flipping back and forth this between Penix and Tua. So that is why I have the Falcons finishing in last in their division. All right. Coming in, these are my predictions for the NFC North. Coming in at first place, I have the Chicago Bears. I think that the Bears are going to be one of the best teams in the NFL this season. I think Caleb Williams is going to have a huge breakout season. I think he's going to play even better than what he played last year. I love Ben Johnson as their coach. Like, he's completely changed the culture over there in Chicago. They have one of the best rosters in the entire league, one of the most electric offenses in the entire league, and I expect Caleb Williams to be in the MVP conversation this year. I mean, Caleb has been just so unbelievable, especially last year. I mean, I know his rookie season was a rocky start, but bringing in Ben Johnson just completely, gave Caleb just so much confidence. And I definitely think the Bears this year, man, I think they are going to take a huge step forward. I think they're going to be one of the best teams in the league. I think that offense is absolutely electric. I know they did lose one of one of their best wide receivers in DJ Moore. But the thing about DJ Moore, he's very inconsistent, but I do like the offense they have now. They still got a Dunze, they still got Luther Burden, they got D Swift, they got Cole Kmet, they got Colson Loveland. I mean, that offense is filled with weapons. And like I said, the Bears are going to take a huge step up, and I could definitely see them being a Super Bowl contending team this year. Coming in at second, I have the Detroit Lions having a bounce back season. I know last year was rough. They were very up and down last year. They only won 9 games, but I can see them winning 12 games this year. I definitely think, that that Jahmyr Gibbs this season is going to take a huge step forward. I think he's going to solidify himself as the best running back in the NFL this year. They have one of the most electric offenses in the league, one of the best head coaches in the league, and Dan Campbell as well. Dan Campbell is it's aggressive. He always goes for it on 4th down all the time. But I think the Lions, with a much easier schedule this year, because I think the Lions have like one of the most easy schedules this year. So I can see the Lions taking a huge step forward this year. I think this will be an excellent bounce back year for them. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were in 2024 when they went like 15-2, but I think that the Lions will take a huge step up, and I definitely think they'll find their Fitz identity again. The only thing I'm concerned about with the Lions is their defense. They do have they do have some holes on their defense. I think their defense is going to struggle a little bit this season, but I think with the offense they have, in a solid quarterback in Jared Goff, with the best running back in the league in Jahmyr Gibbs, with obviously with guys like Sam Laporta and Jameson Williams, he'll only, I think it's being reported that he'll miss like 5 or 6 weeks. So that's definitely going to hurt them. But I think the Packers will do what they usually do every year. I think they'll win about 9 or 10 games, sneak in as a wild card, and just do what they usually do. I mean, I don't really know any big additions they had this offseason or anything. To me at least, the Packers are essentially running it back with the same team. So, I have the Packers finishing 10-7. I think they will sneak in as a wild card team once again, and that is that. Coming in at last place, I have the Minnesota Vikings. I think their roster is solid, at least on the offensive side of the ball. You do have some great weapons over there. You got one of the best wide receivers in the league in Justin Jefferson. You got a solid it's wide receiver 2 and Jordan Addison as well. Aaron Jones, I mean, he's not prime Aaron Jones anymore, but he's still a serviceable back in the backfield as well. And then you bring in a new quarterback in Kyler Murray, and Kyler Murray is the starter. It's not going to be trash ass JJ McCarthy anymore. It is going to be Kyler Murray. I definitely think if Kyler can play solid, I definitely think that the Vikings can win about 7 or 8 games, but I'm not too confident in the Vikings this year. I mean, I think they're going to do what they usually do. They're going to be around that 7 or 8 win range, and I think they'll finish last in their division. So nothing else to really say about the Vikings. They're just mid. But let's move on to the next division here. This is my predictions for the NFC North. Moving on to the NFC West, guys. In first place, I have the LA Rams. I think the Rams are going to be one of the most scariest teams in the NFL this season. I mean, their defense got insanely better with the additions of Myles Garrett and Trent McDuffie. They signed the two of the best defensive players in the league in one offseason. And then you still got the MVP in Matthew Stafford. You got one of the best wide receiving rooms in the NFL in Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. They also have some good tight ends over there as well. You got a solid running back in Kyren Williams. I mean, dude, I think the Rams are going to be the best team in the NFL this season. And I'm saying that as an Eagles fan. I definitely think, at least in the regular season, I think the Rams are going to be the best team in the league. I don't know who's going to stop the Rams. I think the only teams that have a realistic shot at beating the Rams this year are my Eagles and probably the Bears, I would imagine. I mean, the thing is, the Bears almost beat the Rams last year. If Caleb didn't throw that dumb pick in overtime, the Bears would have beaten the Rams last year in the playoffs. But I think the Rams, man, with the additions they had this offseason, and with them, having the most explosive offense in the league, I think the Rams are going to be one of the most scary, like one of the most scariest teams in the NFL this season. Gosh, man, I cannot talk today. But that is my prediction for the Rams. And then coming in at second place, guys, I have the Seattle Seahawks finishing at a record of 11-6. I think that the defending Super Bowl champions are going to take a little bit of a step back. I know they lost a lot this offseason. They lost their Super Bowl MVP and Kenneth Walker. They lost some pieces on their defense, especially with guys like, obviously, Reek Woolen going to my favorite team, the Eagles. I think that Seattle, I still think they have one of the best rosters in the league. I still think that their defense is going to be great, but they're not going to be as good as they were last year. They're going to have a much tougher schedule. They are going to be this defending champions. I mean, I still think they will be a wild card team. I think they'll be like a 6 or 7 seed maybe, but I have the Seahawks finishing. It's 11-6. I still think they have a good defense. I still think their offense is electric, but I have them finishing in second place because they're going to have a harder schedule and they are going to have a bit of that Super Bowl hangover. All right. Coming in at third place, I have the San Francisco 49ers. Now, this team is a retirement home of a motherfucking team. All right. You got guys like George Kittle who are getting older. You got guys like Debo that is also getting older. Christian McCaffrey, obviously still in his prime, but very injury prone. I still think Christian McCaffrey is one of the best backs in the league, at least top 2 or 3. But the 49ers, man, they just have a retirement home. That team can just never stay healthy. They're a freaking hospital every single year. I definitely think if their team stays healthy throughout the season, I think they could get to that 9-10 win range. I like Brock Purdy, solid-ass quarterback. He's not as good as Jalen Hurts, though, but Brock Purdy, solid-ass quarterback. But yeah, they'll finish 10-7. I think they'll get 9 or 10 wins this year. And then last place coming in, Arizona Cardinals. I don't think that's a shot to anybody. I still think they're one of the worst teams in the NFL. Nothing else to be said there about the Cardinals, all right? And then moving on to the AFC side here, the first AFC division that we are going to be predicting is the AFC East. So coming in at first place, I have the Buffalo Bills. They are going to have an easy schedule this year. They did finish second in their division last year with a record of, I believe, 11-6. But I expect the Bills to be much better. They have a new stadium this year, and I think as long as Josh Allen can stay healthy, bro, this team, at least in the regular season, is going to be one of the best teams in the league. I mean, they do have solid weapons. I like the signing of DJ Moore. They gave Josh Allen a reliable weapon finally. They have one of the best running backs in the league in James Cook. I don't know how Joe Brady is going to fit in as their new head coach. I know they hired from within. I know that they fired Sean McDermott, but we'll see about the Bills, man. I definitely think having a new stadium will help because they don't have to deal with playing in the snow as much. They're going to have a dome now, so obviously they don't have to deal with playing in 10 feet snow in December. But I think the Bills, as long as Allen is healthy, as long as he can stay on the field consistently, this Bills team shouldn't have any problems with winning this division. Coming in at second, I have the Patriots. I think they're going to take a big step back. I don't think they're going to win 14 games and go all the way to the Super Bowl the same way they did last year. They're going to have a much harder schedule. They did have a solid offseason. Obviously, my Philadelphia Eagles traded it's A.J. Brown to the Patriots, but I think the Patriots, they're going to have a really, really tough schedule this year. I mean, they were just in the Super Bowl last year, so they are going to have a very tough schedule, and that's why I have them 10-7. I think they're going to take a step back this year. I still think Drake May's a good quarterback. I definitely think he's going to be their franchise quarterback for at least the next 5 years or 10 years. But yeah, dude, I expect the Patriots to take a bit of a step back this year. Coming in at third place, guys, this division's weird because you have 2 good teams and then you have 2 really bad teams. So coming in at third, this is close. I still think this is one of the worst teams in the NFL. Like, you could say this year the Dolphins and the Jets are the 2 worst teams in the NFL. They are by far the 2 worst teams in the league this season. But I have the Dolphins barely squeaking third. Outside of Devon Achane, I don't know who else they have. I mean, their starting quarterback is going to be, I believe it's going to be Malik Willis, if I'm not mistaken, who's going to start for them. But they basically released their entire team. They released Jalen Waddle, they released Tyreek Hill, they released Tua, who ended up going to the Falcons, and Jalen Waddle, who ended up going to the Broncos. But yeah, they basically gutted their entire roster. And now they're just a team that's full of water boys, popcorn guys, and electrolyte administrators. That is what their team is made out of. Like, they just got a bunch of water boys, right? Like, they called up the NFL, they called up Roger Goodell and say, hey, we're going to gut our entire roster. Just give us all the water boys and all the electrolyte administrators you can find and sign them to our team. That's literally what the Dolphins did this offseason. Like, their entire team is filled of water boys. So I think they'll get lucky. I think they might win 3 games. You know, I don't think no team goes 0-17. I think they'll find a way to at least win a couple games this year. But yeah, dude, the Dolphins are absolutely putrid. So I have them at 3rd place. Coming in at last, this is close, I have the Jets. Now, at least the Dolphins, they have NFL water boys. This team is full of Burger King employees, McDonald's employees, Wendy's employees, 7-Eleven employees, PetSmart employees. This team is filled with this team is filled with Fastmart employees, Rest Stop employees that you see in the middle of nowhere. Like, let's say if you're on a road trip, right? You're in the middle of nowhere. There's no stores or no restaurants in sight for like 1 hour. See a little rest store right there, like a little rest stop. It has like half open chips, like off-brand cereal. Like, that is the type of employees that the Jets have. Like, this is the type of players that play on their team. Realistically, both the Jets and the Dolphins can go 1-16 or possibly 0-17. Who knows? But, like, I could see one of these teams going 0-17. Some of them could. But I think but I think the Jets and the Dolphins are 2 of the worst teams in the league. There's nothing really else to say about the Jets. I mean, I don't even know why they brought back Garrett Wilson and Breece Hall. That was stupid. But yeah, it's whatever, dude. You get my point. The Jets and the Dolphins, man, they're the 2 worst teams in the NFL. All right. So those are my predictions for the AFC East. Moving on here to the AFC South, guys, I have the Houston Texans finishing in 1st place at a record of 11-6. I said this in my last video. I think if CJ Stroud can play the same way he played in his rookie year with this Texans defense, I think the Texans can win the Super Bowl. And that's if CJ Stroud plays like 2023 CJ Stroud again. Because, like, CJ Stroud, you know, his only good year was his rookie year. That's it. His 2nd year he struggled, and last year he struggled. But, I mean, the Texans are just one solid offense away from being a dynasty, essentially. But I still think the Texans, they have one of the best defenses in the league. I think you could argue they have the best defense in the league right now. I mean, Houston is going to be nasty. But my concern about Houston is their offense. Like, can their offense generate points? Can CJ Stroud play solid? Can their wide receivers stay healthy? That is a big concern. I like the addition of David Montgomery to their backfield. But the concern is their offense. Can their offense hold up? Can their offense at least score 20 points a game? That is the main concern for Houston right now. Like, can their offense be consistent? Because they already have their defense. That defense is disgusting. But can their offense hold up? But I think Houston will finish 11-6. I think they'll play well enough to win their division and get into the wild card, and get a home playoff game. But I have Houston finishing 11-6 for the season. Coming in at 2nd, guys, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think they're still a solid team. I don't really think there's nothing else to be said. I don't know why they got rid of Travis Etienne. That makes no sense to me whatsoever. but they have solid weapons, at least on the offensive side. They got Parker Washington, Brian Thomas Jr. They got Travis Hunter coming back healthy, who I expect to have a solid season. I mean, I don't know, man. The Jags to me are just a weird team. I think they'll finish like right in the middle of the pack. I don't think they're gonna make the playoffs, but I have them finishing 9-8. Coming in at third, I have the Indianapolis Colts. I think losing Michael Pittman is going to hurt them quite a bit because he was their best wide receiver last year. I mean, their wide receiving core now is okay. I mean, you got Josh Downs and Alec Pierce. You got one of the best running backs in the NFL and Jonathan Taylor. And then you have a really good tight end in Tyler Warren as well. It all depends on their quarterback situation. I think Daniel Jones is going to be the week 1 starter again. And Daniel Jones last year, he had a solid first half of the season, but then after that, the Colts just fell apart. But yeah, I expect the Colts to finish 7-10. I think they're going to be mid and up and down as usual. Then 4th place, guys, I have the Tennessee Titans coming in at 4th place. I think that the Titans, I think Cam Ward's going to take a big step up, but I just still think the Titans are lacking a lot on their roster. I don't even know who the Titans have, honestly. I mean, they have Tony Pollard. They did have a good draft, but at the same time, it's just like, I just think Tennessee is still one of the worst teams in the NFL. So that is my prediction. Those are my predictions for the AFC South. Moving on here to the AFC North. This division is weird, but coming in at first place, I have the Ravens. Listen, if Lamar Jackson was healthy last year, I think the Ravens would have won their division last year by probably by week 13 or something. But I think if Lamar and Derrick Henry stay healthy, this team can win easily 13 games. I think their defense got a lot better with the addition of Trey Hendrickson. They should have had Max Crosby, but unfortunately he failed his physical. So they don't have Max Crosby. Instead, they now have Trey Hendrickson, which is a huge addition to their defense. I think their defense is going to be nasty this year. My main concern about the Ravens is their special teams. But other than that, guys, I think the Ravens, as long as Lamar and healthy are healthy on the field, they can win 13 games easily. Coming in at second, guys, I have the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals did get better this offseason, don't get me wrong, especially on their defense. But the concern has always been Joe Burrow's health. I think if Burrow can stay somewhat healthy, I think they can win 9 games. But yeah, I think the Bengals, of course they have one of the most electric offenses in the league, but then their defense and their O-line is always a concern. But I got the Bengals finishing a solid 9-8. I think they'll finish second in their division. Coming in at third place, I have the retirement home itself, the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is going to be Aaron Rodgers last year in the NFL. He's one of the best quarterbacks of all time, future Hall of Famer. But yeah, dude, the Steelers have a whole retirement home, bro. I could literally take, I live right near 3 retirement homes, right near my house. You could take all 3 of those 6 retirement homes and build the Steelers roster out of it. That is how old they are. Dude, I probably bet that some of these players are older than Jerry Jones himself. That's crazy to me. But yes, I have the Steelers finishing at third because they are a retirement home. And plus, dude, the Steelers are just allergic to finishing under 500. I don't know why. They can have the most putrid roster on earth, and they will somehow finish over 500 or a little bit under 500. They will at least get over or under 8 wins. That is who the Steelers are. But yeah, I have the Steelers finishing at third in their division. And then coming in at last, of course, this is no explanation needed, we have the Cleveland stinking Browns. Like I said, I live in Pennsylvania, and when the Browns are playing all the way in Ohio, in Cleveland, in Akron, where LeBron James is from, I could smell their stadium all the way from my house in Philly. That is how bad the Cleveland Browns are, okay? So there's nothing else to be said about the Browns. And plus, they have a criminal starting as their quarterback in Deshaun Watson. That motherfucker should be locked up in jail with the Tate brothers, all right? But I definitely think that Deshaun Watson, he has to share a cell with Diddy and James Harden, bro. Diddy, James Harden, and the Tate brothers all got to be sharing a cell together. But I have the Browns in last place in their division, finishing with a record of 3-14. All right. All right, guys, coming in for the last division that we will be predicting right before the playoffs, we have the AFC West. Now, this division, I think, is going to be an absolute bloodbath. I mean, you have three of the best teams in the conference in this division. Coming in at first, guys, I have the Chargers. I think Justin Herbert is going to take a huge step up this year. I definitely think this could be the year where Justin Herbert finally wins a playoff game. I hope it is. I mean, I'm a big Justin Herbert fan. I've been a fan of his ever since he got drafted. And plus, I have a best friend, shout out to John, who is a huge Chargers fan. So, this is unbiased, obviously, but I genuinely think that the Chargers can finish first in their division. I think that offense is electric. I love Jim Harbaugh as their coach still, coming back for, I believe, his third year coaching the Chargers, if I'm not mistaken. Their offense is electric, very underrated defense. I think that the Chargers will finally win their division. I think for the first time since what, like 2018, 2017 or something like that. And then coming in at second, guys, I have the Denver Broncos. I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year. I think they're going to take a little bit of that step back, but I love the addition of Jalen Waddle. You finally give Bo Nix a real number one wide receiver. I mean, he already did have that on Courtland Sutton, but I mean, Courtland Sutton is nowhere near as good as Jalen Waddle is. So, I think Denver has a phenomenal defense, but I just think with a harder schedule, with everything, with obviously with, Bo Nix coming back, it's after that broken ankle. I think the Broncos will not be as good. And plus, it's really tough to go 14-3 back-to-back years. Like that's never been done before, unless if you're Tom Brady. But I still think the Broncos, they will still have a great season, but I have them finishing 11-6. Now, coming in also at 11-6, I have the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen, if Mahomes comes back healthy, I think they can be back in the playoffs, 100%. I mean, last year they did have a horrible down year, after my Philadelphia Eagles absolutely destroyed them in the Super Bowl 2 years ago. But I think the Chiefs, I think they'll have somewhat of a bounce back year. I think they'll finish around that 10 or 11 win range. I think as long as Mahomes comes back like 50% of his original form, I think that the Chiefs can finish 11-6. And plus, they do have a solid running game now with Kenneth Walker as well. So I think they'll finish third in their division, maybe sneaking as a wild card, but I have them finishing around that 10-7 to 11-6 range. And then coming in at fourth, guys, we have the Raiders. They did have a good offseason, but I just still think that I'm still concerned about their offense because their only real good weapons are Brock Bowers and Ashton Jeanty. That's it. And plus, they have Kirk Cousins starting in as quarterback, and we don't know what we're going to see with out of Mendoza this year. And Mendoza is probably not going to play this year. So, yeah, I still think the Raiders are going to be one of the worst teams in the league this NFL season. So guys, that is all of my record predictions for all 32 NFL teams. Let's close out the video by predicting the NFL playoffs. So here is how I think wildcard weekend is going to shape up. Here are our matchups. So on the AFC side, we have Texans versus Broncos, Chargers versus Chiefs, Bills versus Patriots. And then on the NFC side, we have Panthers versus Seahawks, Eagles versus Lions, and then Bears versus Packers. Okay, so let's go game by game and let's predict who the Super Bowl champion will be for this NFL season. All right, so we're going to start off on the NFC side here. We got the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Detroit Lions. I think this is going to be a great game if it does happen. Two of the best teams in the conference. But I like the Philadelphia Eagles here. Not to be biased or anything, but I just think the Eagles, they have a top 3 defense in the NFL. As long as Sean Mannion is better than Kevin Patullo, I think that the Eagles will be back in that Super Bowl championship form. So I got the Eagles winning this one. Plus, the thing about the Lions, they are a dome team. They have to come into the link in the freezing cold. So I got the Philadelphia Eagles moving on to the next round. All right. Then for our next wildcard game, we have the Carolina Panthers versus the versus the defending Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks. I think this game will be great. Both teams are young and up and coming, but I gotta take the defending Super Bowl champions here. I think that Seattle defense is going to be too much for Bryce Young to handle. I get it, the Panthers are home, but I just think the Seattle Seahawks, they are the Super Bowl champions for a reason, and I think they'll find a way to win this playoff game. So I got the Seahawks moving on, and they will be moving on to the next round, all right? Coming in for our last NFC wildcard game, we have a classic between the Bears and the Packers. I think this game is going to be absolute cinema, like every single Bears and Packers game is. One of the best rivalries in the NFL, if not one of the best rivalries, probably at least in American sports, in the Packers and Bears. But this game, I think we all know how it's going to go down. I got the Bears winning this one. I think the Bears will be able to win that game, all right? All right, guys, moving on to the AFC side. We have the Texans versus the Broncos. I think this is going to be a defensive masterclass. I can see this being a very great game, but I like Denver's offense a little bit better than Houston's. Like, I don't think CJ Stroud's been the same player ever since his rookie year, if I'm being honest with you guys. So I got to go with the Broncos here to move on to the next round, all right? Up next, guys, we have a classic AFC West showdown between the Chargers and the Chiefs. Oh, this is tough. This is really tough. But if I had to be honest with you guys, I mean, as much as I love the Chargers, as much as I love Justin Herbert, I just think Mahomes in playoff time is just too good. That is what I think. And we don't know what version of Patrick Mahomes we will get this year, but come on, it's Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. You don't want to count him out unless if he's playing Jalen Hurts. But I got to go with the Chiefs. I am sorry. I have to. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, dude, Mahomes in the playoffs is a different beast. So I got the Chiefs moving on to that next round. All right. Coming up next, guys, for the final wildcard game, we have the Bills versus the Patriots. I think the Bills are going to win this. I think being in that new stadium, being in that harsh environment, that should help. And I don't think the Patriots are going to be as good as they were a year ago. So that is what I have, all right? So moving on to the divisional round here. These games are going to be bangers right here. We have the Bills versus the Broncos. I think the Bills, they will be able to get their lick back. I know last year was a tough loss for them when they lost against them in the divisional round last year. That game that went into into OT. Gosh, I can't fucking talk today. But yes, I think the Bills will be able to get their lick back. I like them at home in this situation in the new stadium. So give me Buffalo to move on to the championship round. Moving on to the other game, guys, we have the Ravens and the Chiefs. I think the Ravens are going to get their lick back on the Chiefs, and I think we're going to get a battle of the choke artists in the conference championship. I just think we need someone else other than the Chiefs to be in the conference championship. So give me the Ravens to upset the Kansas City Chiefs to move on to the next round, all right? Moving on to the NFC side, guys, we have a classic between the defending Super Bowl champions and the Rams. I think the Rams are going to get him here this time. I think the Rams should have been in the Super Bowl last year, but I think the Rams are going to get their lick back this year. I like them at home in this situation. So give me the Rams to move on to the next round. All right. Coming up next, guys, we have another heavyweight matchup between my favorite team, the Philadelphia Eagles, and the Chicago Bears. Listen, I'm gonna say this for the third time. If Sean Mannion is a solid offensive coordinator, I think the Eagles can beat anybody in the league, and I definitely think he can be that. Because I've been watching the Eagles, especially their most recent preseason game, and their offense looks a lot better than what it did last year. As for the Bears, they're young, They're up and coming, but they're not ready for my Birds, man. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles to go into Chicago and beat the Bears to advance to conference championship weekend. All right. Up next, guys, we have the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens. You know what? Since Josh Allen owns Lamar Jackson, give me the Bills to move on to the Super Bowl. All right. Then we have the Rams versus the Eagles. The Philadelphia Eagles own the Rams. So give me the Philadelphia Eagles to move on to the Super Bowl. And that gives us our Super Bowl matchup between the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles. And you already know who I'm picking. Give me the Buffalo Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles, to be your 2027 Super Bowl champions. Jalen Hurts gets his second Super Bowl ring, his second Super Bowl MVP, and Jalen Hurts shows once again why he is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL and why the Eagles are not to be fucked with, gang. Go Birds. But guys, that is all my predictions for the 2026-27 NFL season. I hope you guys enjoyed, man. Make sure that you guys smash that subscribe button, turn on that little bell notification down below, and share this video with somebody that you know. And let me know down in the comments what other videos y'all want to see from your boy next. But anyways, guys, it's your boy Noah the Beast. I'm out. Y'all have a good one. I'll see y'all in the next one, baby. God bless you, and go Birds! Peace out.